Hi, my name is Heather and welcome to Strings and Threads. Today I'm doing a video tutorial on the spider Amigurumi, and I'm really excited about this spider. I just love how he or she turned out. So what you'll need to make this spider Amigurumi, you will need 4 pipe cleaners measuring 8.5 inches or 22 centimeters. You'll need an eye crochet hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter. You'll need some medium weight acrylic yarn. You can use any type of yarn that you want, and you can adjust your hook. It will change the size of your spider. If you want to make it the same size as mine, then this is what I use. But feel free to adjust based on the materials you have or the materials you want to use. You'll need some stuffing, and you will also need 2 safety eyes. This project uses a stitch called the shallow single crochet. So I'm going to show you how to use this. Even the legs are made using that stitch. So we start at the head, and you're going to do a magic circle with 6 single crochets in it. I won't go through every single round in this way. This is slow, but I wanted to first get you started before I started pausing and restarting. So now we're going to attach with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. And so the first round, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. Now, you would typically, for a regular single crochet, just go into this space right here. But a shallow single crochet goes into the V's that are in between the stitches. So you can see that the first one is here and the second one is here. And in between those 2 stitches is that V. I take the pointy part of my crochet hook. If you can just go in like that, that's perfectly fine. But I take the pointy part and I open up in between the V's and go through. And once you're in the V, it's going to look exactly like a single crochet does. And I recommend doing your stitches very loosely because it's really hard to get in there for a tight stitch. Now we're going to put 2 in that same stitch because we're increasing. And again, I'm going to look in between the next 2 stitches. So there's a single crochet here and a single crochet here. I'm going to go in between where the V's are. I'm going to use the pointy part of my crochet hook to squeeze in between the V's. And I'm going to put 2 single crochets into those stitches. Again, make it really loose. Okay, so we're going to do that with the rest of the V's all the way around and then come back. So I'm going to pause here, you pause here, and then come back when you've reached the end of the round. Now you'll end up with 12 stitches total. Right now I'm at 10. I wanted to show you where the last one goes because you'll end up with 1 stitch here. You're actually going to go into that V that's at the end of this stitch, and you'll put 2 more stitches there, and you should end your round with 12 shallow single crochets. And then attach to the first one with a slip stitch. Okay, for the next round, we'll chain 1, and you are going to put one shallow single crochet in each stitch around. So you should end up with 12 at the end of the round. So again, you're not going to go right into the normal spot. You're going to go in between the first two stitches, look for that V, and put your hook in between the V and do a shallow single crochet. I'm going to go through and put one in each of the 12 around and come back. Pause it here. I already attached to the first single crochet with a slip stitch. I got a little ahead of myself here. This next round, we're going to do the same thing, put one shallow single crochet in each stitch around and end up with 12. But the one thing that's different in this round is we're going to mark where the eyes go. So we're going to put stitch markers in stitch 2 and stitch 7. So I'll start this with you to show you. I've been doing the shallow single crochets very loosely because I want to get into that V a little bit easier. So here's one, and then here's where 2 is, and right there is where I'm going to put the stitch marker in 2. I guess I want it to go this way. And then we'll do the same thing when you get to stitch 7. 3, 4, really loose, 5, 6, and then here's 7, and I'll put the stitch marker in there. You can feel it starting to take form there, and it will, the head will take a form. And I will finish the rest of the round to 12, attach with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, and then come back for the next direction. Okay, you can see how it's starting to cup a little. We're getting shape in the head. We're going to do another round here with just one shallow single crochet in each stitch around. I'll do the first one, and then we will pause together and come back when we get to the end of the round. When you get to the end of the round, you will attach with a slip stitch to the very first single crochet. The next step is to put the safety eyes in. So I'm going to see where the stitch marker is, pop the safety eye in, put the backing on. You know what? I have to get a different backing. This one is too big for this eye. All right, got that straightened out. So now the eyes are working again. So for this next round, we are going to single crochet 2 together. So chain 1, and these we're just going to do in the regular stitches. This will be the last round for the head, and then we'll start to increase for the body. So you should be able to still sneak in there. I know I did it with the last one. Just do a regular single crochet 2 together in the regular spot. And we should end up with 6 stitches total. Some people call that just decrease, so we're going to decrease around. What am I doing stitch-wise? 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. 6. And then we're we're going to attach with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. And we're going to go back to the shallow single crochets after this. So here at this point, we're going to want to stuff the head. You don't need a whole lot of stuffing for this. So just kind of do your best to get a little bit of stuffing in there. Okay, so for the next round, we're going to go back to the shallow single crochet, and we're just going to do 1 shallow crochet in each stitch around. So we'll still have 6 for this next round. I lied, I said we were going to increase on the next round, but we have 1 more round where we're just going to get back into this shallow single crochet. So if you look right away, you have a V right here. So remember to keep your stitches loose. Oops, I didn't go all the way through. I'll do 1 more with you, and then we can pause and finish the round and come back. So there's 1, and here are the 2 stitches in between. Here's the V. So we're going to go in between that stitch and do the shallow single crochet 2. That's 2. Okay, so finish the rest around and then come back. So I came all the way around, and we're going to attach to the first single crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, the next round we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 2 shallow single crochets in each stitch around. So I'll show you, there's 1 here. That's how we did it before. Do it loose, and then just go into the same stitch again and put another one. We'll end up with 12 stitches around. I'll do 1 more with you, then we'll pause and finish the round and come back and do the next thing. So here we're going to do the shallow single crochet. There's 1 stitch, and put a second one in there. Remember to keep it loose. All right, then complete that all the way around. You should end up with 12 shallow single crochets, and we'll finish up then. All right, so I just finished it, and then I already joined with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. We're going to repeat that again and end up with 24 stitches in this round. So you're going to put 2, you're going to do an increase, you're going to put 2 shallow single crochets into each stitch around loosely. All right, I just did this first one with you, but I think from the last round, you can get the idea of how to do this. So put 2 shallow single crochets in each stitch around. You should end up with 24 shallow single crochets. All right, so I have my 24 shallow single crochets, and I already attached with a slip stitch to the first shallow single crochet. We're going to do 5 rounds with 1 shallow single crochet in each stitch around. So that means you come around, join, come around again, join, until you get 5 more rows total. So let's do that. And when you begin each round, you attach to the first one with a slip stitch and chain 1. So let's put 5 more rounds on this with 1 shallow single crochet in each stitch, and then come back. Here's how it looks with 5 more rounds added. I'm sorry if my fingers look dirty. I've been doing a lot of gardening, and I do scrub my hands, but the dirt I can't get it all off, even with huge scrubbing. So please pardon my hands. They're not dirty. Just doing too much gardening lately. So the next round, we are going to chain 1, and you're still going to do everything shallow single crochet. So we're going to shallow single crochet 2 together, and then 1 shallow single crochet in the next 4 stitches. You still want to try and kind of be loose here. And that's the pattern that we're going to repeat around. It's going to be shallow single crochet 2 together, and then shallow single crochet the next 4 in the next 4 stitches, shallow single crochet 2 together, shallow single crochet in the next 4 stitches. We'll do that all until we get all the way around to the end of the round. So let's pause here and finish the round and come back when we're done. I already attached with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. The next round we're going to do something similar. We'll chain 1. We're going to shallow single crochet 2 together, and then we're going to shallow single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and that will be the pattern around. It'll be shallow single crochet 2 together, 1 shallow crochet in the next 3 stitches. I think I did this round a little bit tighter than the other rounds. Try to keep your stitches loose, it will help. But we're going to do that pattern around and then attach with a slip stitch to the first single crochet and then come back. So pause here. You should be able to see it getting smaller now, like the body starting to come around. The next round is going to be similar again. We're going to chain 1 and shallow single crochet. I know it's a little tricky on the ones that have already been done together, but you just do your best to kind of go in the middle. Shallow single crochet 2 together, and then 1 shallow single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Shallow single crochet 2 together, and then 1 shallow single crochet in the next 2 stitches. That will be the pattern around. So my next stitch would be shallow single crochet 2 together. So let's pause here, go around, attach with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, and then we'll pick it back up. All right, the next step now is to start stuffing. And as you're going along, if you feel like you want to add more stuffing before we get to the very last round, feel free to do that. On this one, I did stuff it pretty firmly. And I like the way that it kind of looks like the body goes up. I didn't do anything special to do that. It's just, I guess, the way the legs go on and then how firmly you stuff this will determine that. So I'm going to try to stuff this one firmly as well. And then we'll see how it turns out, but I might add a little bit more stuffing after the next couple rounds. We have two more decreasing rounds that we're going to do before we sew it closed. Okay, so that's about as firm as I'm going to get it. And still be able to crochet. All right, the next round we're going to chain 1 and shallow single crochet 2 together. Kind of try to get in the middle there. I know it's a little bit trickier on these. On the ones that are already single crochet 2 together. And then we're going to shallow single crochet in the next stitch. And that's the pattern around. You're going to shallow single crochet 2 together and then 1 shallow single crochet in the next until we get all the way around. So let's pause here and do that and then come back. You can attach to the first single crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, we're almost there. If you would like to add more stuffing, you may. I might put just a tad more in. The next round, we're just going to shallow single crochet 2 together around, and that should end you with 4 shallow single crochets total. So let's do this last part together. We're going to chain 1, shallow single crochet 2 together, do that again, shallow single crochet 2 together, you know what, let's pause this because I feel like this will take forever even just to get through the last 2. When you get to the last one, stop there and we'll get the next directions. All right, so I went all the way around. I did not join up yet, so I'm going to join up with the very first stitch. And then I'm going to cut a small tail, not too short, probably about this much. And then I'm going to pull it through the first, kind of like a slip stitch through there. If you feel like you could get more stuffing in there and you want to, you may. But what I'm going to do next, I'm going to get my yarn or darning needle, which I didn't have handy, whoops, and thread it. And we're going to just seal the hole up. So I'm going to go into the front loop of each of the 4 stitches. And then just pull it. And then I'm going to go into the center hole. I'm going to find a good place to come out. It doesn't have to be right there. It could come out anywhere, but this is just going to tangle the tail up in there. Pull it out and then cut whatever tail you still have left. And that will hold. So here's how the spider looks before the legs. So for the legs, you're going to need 4 pipe cleaners measuring 8.5 inches or 22 centimeters. That's the same length. And just to show you how these go, I know that the spider has 8 legs, but what I did was I did 4 pieces and then sewed them underneath. I know it looks kind of funny sewn like this, but when you look at the spider from here, you can't tell how it looks on the bottom. And the nice thing about the pipe cleaners is that they are flexible, so you can adjust the legs. So we're going to do the same thing for all 4 legs. So I'll just show you on one, and then you go ahead and do it on all 4. We're going to, in a magic circle, do 4 single crochets. And then pull the circle closed. Attach to the first one with a slip stitch. Chain 1, and then we're just going to shallow single crochet in each of the 4 stitches around. From here, after we finish this round, you have a couple of options, and I've tried it both ways, and I'm going to let you know what worked best for me, but you may not want to do it that way. You may want to do it one of the other ways. So, this last one is just being silly. Attach to the first one with a slip stitch. I am going to cut this tail because I can't stand that. You can just continue building this and then try and wheedle the pipe cleaner in through the long tube that you make with this. I did that with one of the legs here, and it went in really well, and then I made the second leg, and I could not for the life of me get the pipe cleaner into the second leg. So I don't know, you might get lucky and maybe you could do that. You could make a really long tube and then just put this through and it'll go through nicely. So the second way, it's a little bit harder to do it this way, but this is how I did the last 2 legs because I had such trouble with the second leg. I just start crocheting and holding this in place. Pretty soon though, the pipe cleaner will stay nicer because it'll fit in to a bigger thing. Now I'm not gonna do the whole thing right here in front of you. I'll get to the end and then I'll show you how to finish the leg, and then you would just do this ×4, and then we'll come back and sew the legs on together. So let's pause here and finish the length of your first pipe cleaner, and then I'll show you how to finish the leg. I've crocheted all the way up to the top of the pipe cleaner, and so now I'm going to cut with a little bit of a tail and use my darning or yarn needle. I've heard it called both. Oops. Okay, I didn't pull through, so I'm going to sew it through like this. And then in kind of like we finished before in the front loops of the stitches that are left. Oops, oh my goodness, I lost my, and then pull it tight, come into one of the holes, and just bring the needle down a bit. Just kind of lose the tail on the inside a little bit, and then cut. Okay, now we need to make 4 of these total. All right, now you should have 4. I have 4 for mine. I didn't sew these on yet. This is the one that's already completed, so I brought this along to show you how it was sewn on. You can see it's not beautiful on the belly side, but you're not going to look at it from that side. You're going to look at it from here. But I'll hold this up so you can kind of see it. You're going to get a strand of the yarn for sewing. You can make it as long as you think you need it for sewing. I usually overestimate, so I just threaded it. Okay, so I'll take the first leg. Now you can measure where exactly the middle is if you'd like, or you could just eyeball it. This should be about 8.5. Well, I guess once we sew it together, it's at 9. So 4.5 would be the center. Sorry, you missed all that. I just looked through the camera. I was looking at the desk and not the table. All right, let's try that again. All right, once it's all sewn up, it looks like it measures about 9. And so half of 9 is 4.5. So I could just come in here. And I'm going to tie a knot here. I'm sorry if you hear my boys in the background. Ouch. Okay, so I'm going to bring the first leg right under the neck like I did with this one. And sew it on. This happens to me all the time. I always get stuck whenever there's a leg. Somehow I manage to get the leg stuck when I'm sewing. Get a loop of thread around it. so now I have this one. The front legs are attached. I'm going to measure, I guess, right to the middle of this one. 4.5 is right here. I'm going to try to get them real close together, as close together as I can. All right, then let's measure the next one. This one's 9 inches as well, so 4.5 is the middle. And I'm just going to try again to get these as close together as possible. Okay, and then the last leg. We're almost done here. 4.5. Again, just kind of do it as close as you can to the other legs. If you look on this one, it does kind of go almost all the way to the back, but all right, so then I'm just going to put a little knot in. I'm not going to make a huge knot. I'll put one knot in and then pull it through the body. And then cut it. And now all you need to do is bend the legs in the way that you would like them to be for a spider and to get them to stand up. I hope you enjoy these little spiders as much as I do. These are so cute, so adorable, and this shallow single crochet just gives the right, I just think it gives it the right body texture for a spider. Have a great day. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and check out some of my other tutorials and see if you like what I have to offer on my channel. Have a great day. Bye.